Hi, welcome to Hey Parents, Let's Chat. I am Jess Hunt, and today I wanted to have a conversation that I am sure every parent out there has had to deal with at one time or another, and that is the battle over homework. How do we get our kids to do homework? What do we do when they don't want to do homework? And how do we tackle the whole homework battle? And I am going to come at this from two different perspectives. One as a parent, because I have lived through that battle, and one from the teacher perspective. Because as a teacher, I can add some input as to how to best handle the situation. And so I know it's super hard for all parents. Kids are kids, they don't want to come home and do homework. And then how far do we take it? How much is our responsibility? And I'm just going to tell you from my own personal experience that I remember the battle. And as a parent, I remember feeling it is my responsibility to make sure that my kids are getting their homework done. Well, that's the number one mistake that a parent can make. It's not your responsibility, it's the child's responsibility. And so now I'm going to put my teacher hat on, and I'm just going to say that from my teacher perspective, I am a believer in homework. And I believe homework should be something that is not about academic performance. It should be about helping the kids to learn responsibility, helping them to learn work ethic, helping them to learn how to become an independent learner, helping them to learn how to be in charge of their own success as a student. Those are super important lessons for all kids to learn. And I believe that every good teacher out there who is giving homework is not giving homework to torture the children, and certainly is not giving homework that they're not capable of doing independently. Homework should not be the struggle. Homework should be to foster all of these really good values that children should be learning over time. Again, responsibility, independent learners, how to have a good work ethic, how to have good study habits. I don't care what your child ends up doing once they graduate high school. They might go to a trade school, they might go to college. No matter what they choose to do as young adults to further their careers, how to start careers, how to figure out what they're going to be doing in life, they have to know how to study at some level. Whether it's reading a book, if they're taking a class, whether it's full on attacking a bachelor's degree, they have to learn how to study at home and how to take care of their schoolwork on their own time. Even if they go to learn how to get their CDL license and become a trucker, they have to know how to read, watch videos, how to be a learner on their own time, which means they have to have some sort of self-discipline. And so it all starts in grade school when they are getting homework, in first, second, third grade. Homework does change once they get to the middle school and high school. It becomes a little bit more serious, where their homework might become a little bit harder. They might be expected to do a little bit more of that critical thinking on their own, so it's not going to be super easy. But if we start in the grade school and at that level, instilling the importance of being independent, being a good learner, then those traits should carry over into the middle school and high school. And just to help you out at the grade school level, when you're starting to foster all of these good habits, you want to start out with creating a routine in your household. And that could be different for every child, because every child is different. Some kids might like to get straight to their homework as soon as they get off the bus, just get it taken care of, it's crossed off their list, then they get to go play and do whatever they want, and they don't have to worry about their homework. For some kids that works. For some kids, they need a brain break when they get home. So when they get home, perhaps a snack, perhaps run around for half an hour. Perhaps they need a little bit of just brain downtime, and you're going to watch a cartoon for a half an hour. Whatever works for your child. For some kids, it might be that they have to have dinner, and then after dinner, when it's more relaxing, they can go ahead and get their homework done. For some kids, they're bright and alert first thing in the morning. And so getting the homework done before they go to school in the morning could be what works for them. So you have to establish as the parent what is best for your kid. Now, here's the trick. Once you establish the routine and set the expectations, and you're going to be very clear with the child or your student, here is the expectation, here is your homework spot. I believe personally that having a spot that is dedicated to schoolwork is super helpful. That way they know this is where I'm going to go get my learning done. It could be at the kitchen counter while you're cooking dinner. It could be at the dining room counter so they can be off to the side, but you can still be in visible view of them. It could be that they have a desk in their room. It could be that you have a small office area and you might give them a small space in that area. It is whatever is going to be best for that child. And so you're going to say to them, okay, here is your homework spot. Here are all the tools that you need. What else might you need? Do you need a pencil? Do you need markers, crayons? What tools do you need to be successful? Okay, go get those things, lay them all out, go get to work. And then let them get their homework done. Don't go ask them, do you need help? No, that's not your job. Your job is to go be the mom, go cook dinner, go do laundry. It is the student's job to take care of their homework. And if they were paying attention in class, they should be able to get it done on their own. And if they need help with the reading of directions, you might be able to do that. Read the directions out loud, make sure they understand it. But try not to fall into the battle, in the power struggle, and the I don't know how to do it. I don't know what to do. My teacher didn't explain it to me. That rarely ever happens. Teachers explain things before kids go home. Don't fall into that awful battle. And if you wanted to, you can even be in touch with the teacher. Email them and say, hey, my student doesn't understand the homework. Did you go over it with them? And I guarantee you they're going to say, yes, we did. But they might be able to let you know, yes, they understand it. That way you can tell your student, your teacher says you get it, you're fine, go get it done. And so I'm going to just be very clear with what you can say to your student if the battle starts to happen and the manipulating starts to happen. As a parent, all you are going to do is say, this is what the expectation is. I expect you to get your homework done. And if you don't, then you can explain to your teacher why it's not done. And then walk away. Ignore them. Walk away. Do not engage. Let them figure it out on their own. And then if they choose not to do it or not to do it to the best of their ability, let them explain it to their teachers tomorrow. And here's where the communication with teachers can come into play. It might be helpful for you to be in just email communication with the teacher and just say, just wanted you to know, he has the homework routine down, he knows what's expected, he or she chose not to do the homework. And then the teacher can handle the consequences at school. Here's where, I just believe that it shouldn't be a battle between parents and kids. And the school can deal with it. If we have students, for instance, that aren't getting their homework done, they're going to have a lesser of a homework grade. They might have to stay in for recess or whatever your school consequences might be. They might have a time for kids to get their homework done rather than having their free choice time. And that child is going to learn, oh, I'd rather be playing at recess than getting my homework done. Or I'd rather be having the choice time rather than getting my homework done. I'll probably just get it done at home from now on. That way I get to play at school with my friends. And eventually that's going to click in and they're going to figure it out without the battle. You don't need to battle with your kids. Again, set the routine, set the expectations, and then say to them, oh, it's homework time. Go get it done. And if they start to fight, just say, okay, you can explain to your teacher why you're not getting it done. Ignore, walk away. done. And I will say that with the homework, kids should not be spending hours unless they're in high school. In the grade school level, it's usually 10 minutes per grade level, which is the expected amount of time. So, like for a first grader, 10 minutes, second grader, 20 minutes. For a fifth grader, sixth grader, you're getting close to an hour. And that's for everything: spelling, math, reading. They should not be spending more than an hour if they're in fifth or sixth grade getting their homework done. And so, using that rule of thumb, 10 minutes per grade level, if and that's focused work. Like if your kid is really putting the effort in and really working hard and it's been an hour and a half, cut them loose. They are done. And they should not be. I know that all kids work at different levels and different speeds. They should not be spending, an abundant amount of time on their homework, a reasonable amount of time. And I mean focused time. If you see that your child is there, supposed to be in their 20 minutes of reading, and they're staring into space, looking at their phone, looking at their iPad, that's not focused work. That's not 20 minutes. And you can even tell them, I'm watching you, and if you're not going to be getting any focused reading done in 20 minutes, then I'm going to extend the timer or whatever. And for some kids, a timer might be helpful. Get your microwave timer going or your phone and set an alarm. And that way they know when the timer goes off that they're done, as long as they've been working with focus. And for some kids, especially with reading, at the very beginning of the school year, I would almost time them for 20 minutes. And you can be reading with them as a parent. That way you know it's focused reading, and you might have a book of your own as you're sitting next to them with their book and read together for 20 minutes and actually see how many pages they can get done in 20 minutes, which is reasonable. And if they can read like 7 pages in 20 minutes, then you know from here on out, you should be reading no less than 7 pages. And that way, if they've been reading for, 20 minutes and they only have 1 page done, that's not reasonable. Or if they have read for 20 minutes and they've got, 8 or 9 pages done, fabulous, done, move on. And so these are just some guidelines for you to have realistic expectations for your little ones while they're getting their homework done. And again, communication with the teacher is going to be helpful because it's going to help the teacher support the student at school. It's also going to help you support them when they are at home. And if the talking to your teacher consequence, and this is just a natural consequence. This isn't anything that's like a punishment or anything. It's just a natural consequence. And sometimes natural consequences are enough for a child to learn on their own. But if a couple weeks go by and this isn't having any effect on your student, then you might need to, regroup and be like, how can I help support them at home? And you've been in communication with the teacher, them losing recess or earned playtime isn't really working. So here's what I'm going to do at home. They have the routine, they know what the expectation is, and if they're going to choose not to do their homework, then they're also going to lose like a half an hour of screen time. They might have to go to bed a half an hour earlier, or whatever it is that you think might work in your family and in your household. And that way, that's another layer of consequences to help them understand the importance of getting their homework done. And eventually, it'll all click in. I also feel like once they start to have successes, celebrate those successes. Tell them how proud you are of their hard work. And I would not say, reward them with, we get to go out for ice cream. No, this is an expected behavior. You're doing what's expected. So compliment and praise, absolutely. But I would not reward with tangible things. Because this is just expected behavior. And so I would certainly reward them with compliments and say, look what happens when you work hard. Doesn't it feel good to get all of that work done? You can go play with your friends at recess time. All of those words of encouragement are going to be super helpful. But again, the tangible rewards I would stay away from because that often can lead to more problems in the future, because then they're only going to work hard for the reward, not because it feels good. to be successful and to have pride in themselves. And that's what you really want. You want your kids to feel successful and proud of their hard work. And that's going to help to develop the work ethic and good study habits and just being a really good student overall. So I've kind of looked at that from two different perspectives, one from the parent and one from the teacher, because I feel like I've lived both worlds, and that is just what I've come to understand. I sort of wish that I had, again, like most of my videos, I kind of wish I had some of this advice when my kids were younger, because I remember the battles and they're so hard. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, I'm failing as a parent if my student or my child is not getting their homework done. This is a reflection on me and my bad parenting, and I remember the battles. But again, this is not a reflection of you as the parent. This is all on the kids. They are completely capable of being responsible, and they should be. And I think that we as parents need to just help foster those things. So I hope this has been helpful. If you have found value in this or any of our videos, please hit subscribe, like, share, do all of those things to help support. All of those things are going to create a little bit more visibility so that more parents can see these videos and hopefully be helped as well. If you have comments, please add your comments. That is, I believe, how we all learn. I believe that we parents are the experts and we can help each other. So if you have ideas, add them to the comment sections. You can go to heyparentsletschat.com and add your comments there and see any of our other videos. And I hope that you join us next time. Thank you for joining us.